Strategy. Let me get closer. I'm listening. All right. Advancing. Krukov here. I hear you loud and clear. I'm listening. All right. Good to hear from you. Let me get closer. I'm nuclear. Then we must go. Good to hear from you. Let me get closer. Our enemies tremble. Then we must go. Our enemies tremble. Advancing. Krukov here. I'll melt it down. Our enemies tremble. Let me get closer. Our enemies tremble. Strategy. Advancing. I'm nuclear. Then we must go. Strategy. Let me get closer. Krukov here. I hear you loud and clear. Ready for orders. Let me get closer. I'm nuclear. Strategy. I hear you loud and clear. Let me get closer. I'm nuclear. Let me get closer. Ready for orders. Then we must go. All right. I'm listening. I hear you loud and clear. Good to hear from you. Let me get closer. Krukov here. All right. Good to hear from you. For the motherland. Krukov here. Krukov here. I hear you loud and clear. Then we must go. I'm listening. I hear you loud and clear. Ready for orders. Let me get closer. I'm nuclear. Our enemies tremble. All right. Krukov here. Pursue them. I'm listening. Good to hear from you. All right. Let me get closer. Krukov here. Advancing. I'm listening. I hear you loud and clear. Let me get closer. All right. Pursue them. I'm listening. Advancing. Our enemies tremble. Pursue them. I'm listening. Then we must go. Our enemies tremble. Sheer agony! Krukov here. Pursue them. For the motherland! Krukov here. Advancing. I'm nuclear. I hear you loud and clear. Then we must go. Ready for orders. Advancing. I'm listening. I'm nuclear. Let me get closer. Ready for orders. I hear you loud and clear. Pursue them. The beautiful glow. I'm listening. Then we must go. Ready for orders. All right. Good to hear from you. Advancing. Good to hear from you. Let me get closer. Let me get closer. Krukov here. I'm nuclear. Advancing. Ready for orders. Pursue them. Our enemies tremble. Then we must go. Ready for orders. I'll melt it down. Strategy. I hear you loud and clear. Strategy. Ready for orders. Pursue them. Strategy. Then we must go. I'm nuclear. Advancing. I'm nuclear. I'll melt it down. Strategy. All right. I hear you loud and clear. I'm nuclear. Good to hear from you. The beautiful glow. Ready for orders. Ready for orders. Let me get closer. I'm listening. Krukov here. All right. Здравствуйте. Advancing. Let me get closer. They're in our way. Ready for orders. Our enemies tremble. Advancing. Pursue them. Krukov here. Enemy of the people. Krukov here. Let me get closer. Our enemies tremble. I'm nuclear. Sheer agony. I'm listening. Let me get closer. Здравствуйте. Then we must go. Krukov here. All right. I'm listening. Our enemies tremble. I hear you loud and clear. Krukov here. Then we must go. Our enemies tremble. I'm nuclear. Then we must go. The beautiful glow. Advancing. They're in our way. All right. Enemy of the people. Krukov here. Our enemies tremble. I'm nuclear. Здравствуйте. They're in our way. Our enemies tremble. Advancing. Ready for orders. All right. Let me get closer. Krukov here. Rinse and repeat. Здравствуйте. They're in our way. Здравствуйте. Advancing. Then we must go. Our enemies tremble. Let me get closer. I'm nuclear. Let me get closer. Let me get closer. Good to hear from you. They're in our way. Good to hear from you. All right. Advancing. They're in our way. Our enemies tremble. Здравствуйте. I'm nuclear. Enemy of the people. Good to hear from you. I'm listening. Our enemies tremble. Advancing. 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 Pursue them. Ready for orders. Then we must go. For the motherland. Здравствуйте. Krukov here. Sheer agony. All right. Let me get closer. The beautiful glow. Krukov here. Здравствуйте. Pursue them. Our enemies tremble. Our enemies tremble. Advancing. Krukov here. All right. Good to hear from you. Our enemies tremble. Good to hear from you. I'm nuclear. The beautiful glow. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. Then we must go. Our enemies tremble. Pursue them. Our enemies tremble. Pursue them. Здравствуйте. I'm listening. Advancing. I hear you loud and clear. I'm nuclear. Krukov here. I hear you loud and clear. Advancing. For the motherland. Krukov here. Then we must go. I hear you loud and clear. Enemy of the people. Pursue them. Then we must go. Good to hear from you. Advancing. I'm listening. I'll melt it down. I'm listening. Advancing. Good to hear from you. I'll melt it down. Advancing. I'm listening. They're in our way. I hear you loud and clear. I'm nuclear. They're in our way. I'm nuclear. All right. Good to hear from you. Pursue them. Ready for orders. Our enemies tremble. Then we must go. Krukov here. Let me get closer. Ready for orders. Let me get closer. Krukov here. They're in our way. Good to hear from you. Advancing. Ready for orders. Let me get closer. Pursue them. Our enemies tremble. Pursue them. I'm nuclear. Krukov here. Let me get closer. The beautiful glow. I'm nuclear. I'm nuclear. The beautiful glow. Let me get closer. Enemy of the people. Our enemies tremble. Advancing. Our enemies tremble. Krukov here. Pursue them. I'm listening. Advancing. All right. I'm listening. Then we must go. Krukov here. Pursue them. Krukov here. Здравствуйте. I hear you loud and clear. All right. Then we must go. Ready for orders. Enemy of the people. Good to hear from you. Let me get closer. Our enemies tremble. All right. Good to hear from you. Pursue them. The beautiful glow. Good to hear from you. Advancing. Ready for orders. Then we must go. Здравствуйте. Pursue them. Krukov here. Krukov here. Our enemies tremble. Let me get closer. Advancing. Let me get closer. Our enemies tremble. Pursue them. I'm listening. All right. Good to hear from you. Krukov here. All right. Our enemies tremble. I hear you loud and clear. Ready for orders. Pursue them. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. Здравствуйте. Pursue them. Krukov here. I hear you loud and clear. Здравствуйте. I hear you loud and clear. Здравствуйте. Ready for orders. Pursue them. All right. All right. Pursue them. Then we must go. Advancing. Advancing. All right. Krukov here. Ready for order. Then we must go. I'm nuclear. Pursue them. Our enemies tremble. Then we must go. I'm nuclear. I'm listening. For the motherland. Krukov here. Advancing. All right. Pursue them. All right. Let me get closer. Pursue them. Здравствуйте. Rinse and repeat. Ready for orders. Advancing. I'm listening. All right. They're in our way. Ready for orders. I'm nuclear. All right. Здравствуйте. I hear you loud and clear. Enemy of the people. Ready for orders. I hear you loud and clear. Let me get closer. Pursue them. I hear you loud and clear. The beautiful glow. Advancing. For the motherland. They're in our way. All right. Advancing. All right. Then we must go. Then we must go. Then we must go. All right. Then we must go. Sheer agony. I'm nuclear. Then we must go. Sheer agony. Ready for orders. I hear you loud and clear. Good to hear from you. Sheer agony. Good to hear from you. I hear you loud and clear. I'm nuclear. ready for orders. Enemy of the people, good to hear from you. I'm nuclear. Pursue them. Krukov here. I'm nuclear. Let me get closer. Good to hear from you. Strategy. Let me get closer. Then we must go. Advancing. Pursue them. Ready for orders. Advancing. All right. Pursue them. Let me get closer. Good to hear from you. I'm nuclear. Pursue them. I'm nuclear. All right. Good to hear from you. Advancing. Rinse and repeat. I'm listening. Pursue them. Good to hear from you. Krukov here. All right. Our enemies tremble. Advancing. Our enemies tremble. Pursue them. All right. I'm nuclear. Ready for orders. Sheer agony. Sheer agony. I'm nuclear. Our enemies tremble. All right. I hear you loud and clear. Ready for orders. All right. Good to hear from you. Then we must go. I'm nuclear. Good to hear from you. All right. Then we must go. Krukov here. Pursue them. Pursue them. I'm nuclear. Pursue them. Sheer agony. Our enemies tremble. Let me get closer. I'm listening. I'll melt it down. Good to hear from you. I hear you loud and clear. Good to hear from you. Then we must go. Krukov here. Enemy of the people. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. Then we must go. Good to hear from you. I'll melt it down. Ready for orders. All right. They're in our way. Our enemies tremble. Pursue them. Strategy. All right. Strategy. Sheer agony. Strategy. For the motherland. Strategy. Pursue them. Strategy. Pursue them. I hear you loud and clear. All right. I'll melt it down. Our enemies tremble. Enemy of the people. I'm listening. Enemy of the people. Good to hear from you. Rinse and repeat. Krukov here. I'll melt it down. Our enemies tremble. All right. Pursue them. Let me get closer. Krukov here. They're in our way. Ready for orders. Enemy of the people. Ready for orders. Enemy of the people. Krukov here. Then we must go. Then we must go. Krukov here. Krukov here. Then we must go. Sheer agony. Ready for orders. Pursue them. Ready for orders. Good to hear from you. Advancing. Pursue them. Sheer agony. Advancing. Sheer agony. I'm listening. For the motherland. All right. Good to hear from you. Strategy. Good to hear from you. I hear you loud and clear. Our enemies tremble. Pursue them. Pursue them. I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. Strategy for the motherland. Ready for orders. Krukov here. Then we must go. Advancing. All right. Advancing. Let me get closer. Enemy of the people. Krukov here. Then we must go. Sheer agony. Krukov here. Let me get closer. Rinse and repeat. Our enemies tremble. All right. All right. I hear you loud and clear. Good to hear from you. Pursue them. Let me get closer. Rinse and repeat. I'm listening. Ready for orders. Let me get closer. Good to hear from you. Krukov here. Then we must go. Our enemies tremble. Then we must go. I hear you loud and clear. Krukov here. Rinse and repeat. Then we must go. Good to hear from you. Pursue them. I'm listening. Enemy of the people. I'll melt it down. Advancing. Good to hear from you. All right. All right. Advancing. Pursue them. Krukov here. Ready for orders. Pursue them. Good to hear from you. Enemy of the people. Then we must go. Let me get closer. Krukov here. I hear you loud and clear. Krukov here. Then we must go. Our enemies tremble. All right. I'm nuclear. I'll melt it down. Ready for orders. I hear you loud and clear. I'm nuclear. All right. I'm listening. Then we must go. I'll melt it down. Ready for orders. I'll melt it down. I hear you loud and clear. Pursue them. Krukov here. Enemy of the people. I'm nuclear. I hear you loud and clear. Rinse and repeat. Pursue them. Then we must go. Ready for orders. All right. I'm listening. Let me get closer. Advancing. Advancing. All right. Then we must go. Then we must go. I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. Pursue them. Rinse and repeat. Let me get closer. For the motherland. I'm nuclear. The beautiful glow. I'm listening. Rinse and repeat. Good to hear from you. For the motherland. Krukov here. Our enemies tremble. I'll melt it down. Ready for orders. Advancing. Let me get closer. Then we must go. Then we must go. Sheer agony. I'm listening. Our enemies tremble. Then we must go. Ready for orders. I hear you loud and clear. I'm nuclear. All right. I'm listening. Enemy of the people. Our enemies tremble. I'm nuclear. Let me get closer. Our enemies tremble. I'll melt it down. Ready for order. They're in our way. Our enemies tremble. Pursue them. Strategy. Pursue them. Krukov here. Let me get closer. Let me get closer. I hear you loud and clear. I'm nuclear. All right. Strategy. I'm nuclear. Advancing. I'm listening. I'm nuclear. Strategy. Our enemies tremble. Ready for orders. I'll melt it down. I'm listening. Then we must go. Krukov here. I'm nuclear. Let me get closer. I'm listening. Strategy. They're in our way. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. Rinse and repeat. Our enemies tremble. I hear you loud and clear. Advancing. I'm listening. I hear you loud and clear. Pursue them. Pursue them. All right. Krukov here. Advancing. Good to hear from you. Pursue them. Then we must go. All right. All right. Pursue them. Pursue them. I hear you loud and clear. Rinse and repeat. Let me get closer. I hear you loud and clear. They're in our way. I hear you loud and clear. Then we must go. I'll melt it down. Pursue them. All right. Let me get closer. I'm nuclear. Then we must go.